Hello everyone, this is Chad the Gaming Dad here on Dad's Games with another episode of Fun or Run. This is the review show where we take a quick look at some games and determine whether or not they are fun or if you should run. Today's game in question is a classic, NEO Turf Masters. So NEO Turf Masters originally was just for the arcade, made by NEO GEO and NASCA. NASCA also made the great NEO GEO Metal Slug games. So because this was a NEO GEO game, it was made basically for the arcade, but you could also play it at home once they came out with the home version of the NEO GEO, the AES. But anyway, this is your basic arcade style golfing game. There's 4 different courses, each one with 18 different holes. There's 6 different players from all across the globe, and they each have their own different attributes. I specifically like the German guy who actually can hit the ball very hard and also has pretty good putting. He doesn't have such great approach and things like that, but you don't need that when you can drive to the green and put it right in, so he's my pick. Okay, so the hook for this game, this arcade NEO GEO game, is that when you go ahead and buy in, you get your credit, you get to play 3 holes. If you get par on all 3 holes, that's it. You have to pay again to play some more holes. But if you get a birdie on any one of those holes, you get an extra hole to play.
Prize for birdie.
If you get an eagle, you get 2 holes. But here's the real kicker. If you get something less than par, they take away the hole that you played, plus they deduct another hole for penalty.
Triple bogey. Oh no!
Penalty for over par.
There's occasionally a couple of times when you can try to win additional holes, when they have a long drive contest or a closest to the pin contest. But overall, if you were playing this back in the day in the arcade, and you wanted to play all 18 holes, this could get pretty pricey if you're no good at NEO Turf Masters. Really, it's a pretty easy game to play. You just set the direction, the meter goes up and down for how hard you want to hit it, and then after that, there's another meter that goes up and down, and that sets how high you hit it, whether you want to hit a high shot or a low shot. Just depends. There's also a couple of buttons to adjust whether you want to fade it or pull it or whatever you got to do with the ball. That's pretty much it. Really isn't much to it. Seems like a pretty simple game, but I tell you what, after you play it a few times, it really starts to grab you. The claws come out. The NEO Turf Master claws come out, and they dig right into you, and you can't stop playing it. NEO Turf Masters actually is my favorite game that's for the NEO GEO. Alright, so let's do a little story time here. Obviously, NEO GEO games are very awesome, very hardcore, and very expensive. They came in 2 different ways. The cartridges came either MVS, which was the arcade version where you could have multiple carts. Each cabinet either had 2 or 4 different games in it, and you could just buy new carts and slap them in there if you're an arcade operator. Those ones are pretty cheap. Well, cheap for NEO GEO. Then they came out with the AES, which is the home version of the exact same thing as the arcade. But I tell you what, it will cost you. Now, because this was back in the day when we had Super Nintendo and Genesis and things like that, when the NEO GEO came out, and it was identical to the arcade versions of games, people freaked out. This was for the absolute hardcore. If you wanted to basically go to the arcade and bring that game home with you, you got a NEO GEO. But in the US, at launch, this is years ago, it was $650. Now, if you want to get a hold of one of these things today, it's still going to cost you. A used one off of eBay is still around $400 to $500. That's crazy. But this system is awesome. Tons of other great games on NEO GEO like Metal Slug, lots of different shooters, lots of different fighters. There's King of Fighters, there's Final Fight. Most of them are fighters, honestly, and slashers and shooters and stuff. Arcade stuff, right? So anyway, because Neo Turf Masters is my ultimate favorite Neo Geo game, I decided to go on eBay and see, okay, say I wanted to buy an AES, and say I wanted to buy a copy of Neo Turf Masters. Let's see, what do we got here? Like I said, the used AESs are about $400 to $500. That's pretty pricey. Here's a copy of Neo Turf Masters. Take a look at the price of Neo Turf Masters AES cartridge complete. Are you insane? Who would pay $25,000 for one game? There's 64 people watching this? I hope they're just watching to see if anybody's crazy enough to pay that much for this game. My God. Oh, and don't forget, look down below. You're going to pay 25 grand for the game, but don't forget the $3.99 shipping. I mean, come on. That can't be rolled into the price of the product. Come on, guys. Whatever. That's crazy. So anyway, thank God we have other ways to play Neo Turf Masters. My goodness, I'm reviewing the version that I have on my Xbox One. It's a little cheaper than $25,000. It's only $8. And you can get it lots of other places. It's not only on the Xbox One, it's on the PS4, it's on the Switch. You can get it on old PS2 and Wii collections when they had Neo Geo collections on disc. You can even buy this thing on your phone for $3. I've been playing the crap out of Neo Turf Masters on my phone, just laying down before I go to bed or if I'm stuck someplace and all I have is my phone. So like we said before, the arcade could get really pricey for this game, but we're all playing it at home now, so it's really no big deal because credits are just one button and not actual money. If you're wondering what the thing on the bottom is that says Level 4, at first I thought maybe that was just like a development studio or something, like Level 4 made this, but that's actually the level of the game. If you go into the settings on Xbox anyway, you hold down basically the start button, and it gets you into all the settings of the arcade cabinet, and you can set the level of difficulty you want. 4 is actually medium. This game on Xbox One has lots of different options, like a filter that blurs the pixels, or a filter that adds scan lines or CRT effects. Heck, you can even do these effects on the phone version. You can go widescreen, or you can keep it back in the 4:3 original format of the game. The real bonus you get here, other than not paying $25,000 for the game, the real bonus you get with these downloadable versions is they add challenge. Because otherwise this game would really have no challenge. You could just keep putting in quarters at will, because they're not real. But this adds challenge because there's leaderboards with a high score mode, and then also something they call a Caravan Mode. Also something to note, there's the Japanese and the English versions of the game on here, and from what I can tell, the only difference is the title of the game is not Neo Turf Masters in Japan, and also in Japan, they like to list their country first on the selection of courses. Japan is in a different spot, more prominent. Very nice. So, high score mode is just basically your overall score with no continues, as if you were playing with only one credit. Caravan mode takes that same thing to the next level because now it is a timed high score mode where you gotta hurry. You kind of rush shots, and you can't really take your time and plan things because you only have 5 minutes to get through as many holes as you can with the lowest score that you can. So that's kind of fun, especially if you have some friends and you both have this game. You may have a little friendly competition going back and forth. That makes the game a little bit more fun and gives you a challenge that otherwise wouldn't be there. There's also some achievements and trophies for this thing, but you can blast through those in a couple of hours just practicing. So if you're looking for a quick 1,000 points on your gamer score or whatever, this is a good one for that. But for me, the best part of this game is the overall feel and the style of it. I love the graphic style of the Neo Geo and the crazy, very, very Japanese poses after you complete a hole, whether you're successful or not. Oh, darn it, I got a bogey?
Oh no!
You look like you're gonna rip somebody's head off.
Penalty for overpar.
I got a birdie?
I did it!
Real nice. I did it!
Bingo!
Bingo! But right here's my absolute favorite. Yeah, that's par. No problem. Just chilling. Just hanging out. kind of poses that? It's ridiculous. Then we got the smooth music. It's just icing on the cake. I just never get bored here. Even though it seems like you're playing, the same thing over and over again. It is a golf game, but it's just so much fun. It gets harder as you go. Challenge yourself. Try to make it through the entire 18-hole course without using any continues. Stuff like that. The gameplay's so simple, but to be good, you have to be precise. I'm telling you, just like I said before, this is my favorite Neo Geo game, and honestly, this is one of the best golf games I've ever played. So till next time, remember, you never outgrow video games. My name's Chad the Gaming Dad, and for this episode of Fun or Run, Neo Turf Masters, it is fun!
I did it!
Thanks again for watching. If you liked that video, please press like and subscribe. I love hearing from you guys, so leave your comments and any suggestions down below. Remember, there's tons of other gamers out there just like you and me, and they also know that you never outgrow video games. Feel free to share these videos all over social media, Twitter, Facebook, or whatever you use. This channel is for all of us. Let's make sure they know that they are not alone. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.